This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Kumar.
So see here. Yesterday we have discussed on what is an implementation project, and we have seen one example, shopping management system, how to set up the LCS and how to download the VM. And after that we have seen how to work with the TFS, the version control. Okay, all that stuff. So today we will plan for one brand new project, and we will see how to start with the implementation, and we will see end to end along with the services, along with the Power BI stuff and everything for this particular implementation project. Okay, I told you if you have anything ready, please let me know. So if you could let me know, then I can go ahead, or I will continue the bank management system. Okay, so that's up to you again. So see here, for example, okay, let's start with the bank management. So what will be done in the preliminary phase, which is a diagnostic phase? Okay, there will be in the diagnostic phase, there will be few people. Is that right? Because it's all about people here. It's all about people. When you are working with the any customer, it's all about the people. So in the diagnostic phase, what we will do? We will check the business. We will check the business process. Okay.
Kumar,
We will check the yeah.
sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Can we took the shopping management as an example?
Yeah, I can take shopping management, but for shopping management, already it's everything is available. Okay. So what I will do is I will
Okay.
create everything newly. That's not a big deal. Let's take it. Okay. Let's take shopping management. No worries. Okay. So see here, shopping management system. Let's say in this shopping management system, we have, I think you can, we have a lot of websites here. We have Walmart, we have Big Bazaar, and we have Flipkart, okay, and then we have Amazon, okay. So all these will come under shopping management itself, okay. Now, the first step is the diagnostic phase. In the diagnostic phase, what will happen? What will happen? What will happen? People will meet together. Is that right? People will meet together, and then what they will decide? They will check what is the business process. They will identify what are the core areas of the business process. What are the core areas of the business process? In case of shopping management system, one is purchase. Okay. Second one is sales. Third one is financial management. And what else they need? Next, they need HR management if it is for people. And what else they need? They need a payroll management. So like this, what they will do, the business analyst or the functional consultant and a technical architect will sit together with the consultants, the business consultants of the enterprise, and then they will decide what are the requirements. So during the time, at the high level, they will get all these requirements. They will get to know, okay, during the purchase, they will decide, okay, the company will say, or the enterprise, from enterprise will get the information. We have the vendors, and then from vendors we will purchase products. Okay, and in the similar manner, in the sales, they will say, okay, whatever the products they have purchased, they will do sales with the customer. They will do sales with the customer. And then in the financial management, what they will say, we will maintain financial transactions. We will maintain financial transactions which are digital. Okay, which are digital. I mean to say there will be no paper for financial transactions. All the transactions are digital in nature. Okay, and they want to maintain the details of employees. Okay, the details of employees, and then payroll, because they need to know now what did they invest and what is the profit, what is the loss, what is the revenue. They need to know all those details. If they want to maintain that details, they need to also maintain the payroll. Okay, so we need to maintain the salary details of the employees. Is that right? Yeah. So like this, they will analyze what is the business process, what are the business requirements of the customer. All those things now we got in the diagnostic phase. Okay,
Hello, Mr.
and
Kumar.
yep,
Sorry to interrupt you. We can add here the warehouse management also, because if we keep the items and
yeah,
products.
good. We can also use inventory management. Okay, we can do this. Okay, so like this, we will come up with the details. Okay, and once this is done, we will come to the analysis phase. And in this analysis phase, what we will do? The people will analyze the things. Okay, now already we have the requirement. So does that requirement meets dynamic CX or not? Because let's say here they also have one more requirement. What is the requirement? Watching videos. What do people say? They want to watch videos. They want to watch videos in dynamic CX. What will you say? Yeah. Will you say, oh, it's supported. We will give you a web UI control and you can play videos in it. You can open YouTube and you can play videos. Will you say this? What will you say? Okay, this is good. Let's say watching videos means okay, you might say no, simply. Or they told that we want to see 1 million records on a screen at a time. This is what they said. What will you say? 1 million records should be displayed on screen at your time. You know, this was one of the requirements. I think it's 4 or 5 years back. In one of the projects, this was a requirement for me. So I want to ask you, what you people will say.
Not possible.
Yeah.
If you say not possible, na, the customer will say then my
We
business
can say
requirement is this.
that we can customize.
What will you customize? To show 1 million, 10 lakh records at your time, you need to show on the screen.
We will say like in the other way, like we'll say like they have a, you need very huge requirement for your site, like you need very big display, high internet, and all those things. And
No. 1 second.
yeah, like
We can
When you
split the
say,
two types or three.
see here, yeah, splitting, that is one of the thing. Okay, so whenever the customer will come up with this kind of requirements here. Okay, frankly speaking, okay, dynamics AX is they will think it should give everything, even the end users. You know, this is one of the requirement. Nah? I will tell you one more requirement. At one point of time, the customer requirement is drag and drop a file, okay, to paste in dynamics AX. Okay, there is a functionality called attachments. Okay, there is a functionality called attachment. The end user came up with a requirement. The requirement is he wants to drag and drop the file to Dynamics AX, and then it should paste to the attachment automatically. This is what is the requirement. Okay, see how lazy the people are. Even it's not only about end users, even we as well. Because today we have remote for fan as well. Okay, because we don't want to use the switch. Because if we need to use the switch, we need to go to the switch and then we need to switch it on. This is what is the laziness. Okay, this is what is the limit of laziness. So we have remotes for fans nowadays. We have remotes for everything. Okay, only because of laziness, all these are introduced. And similarly, they don't want to go to the attachment and click on attach, and then they don't want to do that. Okay, for this, actually it was quoted very high. Okay, because drag and dropping is not directly possible in Dynamics AX. We need to write a lot of code and we need to involve the C# code stuff and everything. Okay. And later on he said, oh, no, I don't want to go with that much amount. I will use attachment only. Okay. So this is what. The first thing is, if the requirement is there, obviously we can implement that, but the cost will be heavy. And whereas coming to this 1 million records on one screen, okay, I asked only one question. I had only one question. How many records can you see on a screen? Even if it is, let's take you're on a theater. It's a 70 mm screen. How many records can you see here? How many records can you see on a screen? If you consider this screen, it's 1920 by 1080 pixel, and I can say a maximum of 100 records, not more than that. Then what will you do by fetching 1 million records at a time? Okay, this was my question. This is my question. Okay, and I got a simple answer. Okay, then you suggest what should be done. I simply told them 1 million records are not needed, because if you need to pull 1 million records from the database, okay, if you need to pull 1 million records from the database to show it on the screen at a time, it is going to take hours together for dynamic CX. Okay, it's going to take hours together for dynamic CX. Whatever you need to do is you need to convince. Okay, because the customers will come up with a lot of requirements. Most of the times, we will not say no to customer because we fear whether the customer will go back. But frankly speaking, no customer will go back here. Customer will go back if you implement this 1 million records. Okay, because there are few projects in which the same thing happened. In few of the Indian projects, they have huge amount of data and they are trying to pull the whole amount of data. And the last thing that simply happened is they told dynamic CX is slow. Dynamic CX is not slow. Okay, we should know how to work with dynamic CX, how to implement with dynamic CX. The problem is with the implementation. Okay, so because this kind of requirements we will get very regularly, we should learn how to say no to the customer. We should guide them because they will understand. Okay, they will understand. We should say what will happen and what are the consequences if we do that. Okay, because everyone will expect application to be faster. Because from our end as a developer, we will say, oh, he is a client, let him face. Okay, but that should not be done. Okay, but that should not be done. So instead of that, we need to convince him and we need to let him know that these are the consequences. So we need to plan it in this section. Got it? Okay. Now remember, so whatever we need to do is, if we are the architect, we need to simply check all the requirements and we need to do the fit gap. And then we need to say what is going to fit and what is the gap. Okay. Fit gap in the sense in the diagnostic phase, I did not mean compare with dynamic phase. I mean to say you need to check the requirements, whether that requirements should be implemented or whether that requirement should not be implemented. You need to take the decision. Okay. And now we will come to the analysis phase. In this analysis phase, we will analyze. What is the analysis done? The major part will be gone with fit gap analysis. Okay. So here as well, there will be no involvement of developer. There will be involvement of the architect and the functional architect. The technical architects and the functional architects will sit together. If it is a big company, if it is a small company, you will have the functional consultant and the technical consultant. They will sit together. And depending upon the type of the project. If the project is big, you will have the architect. If the project is small, leads will handle everything. Okay, so it depends on the type of the project and the capacity of the project. Okay. Now fit gap analysis. In this, we will compare business requirements to dynamic CX. Okay, we will compare business requirements with dynamic CX. So in this, we will find, okay, we have purchase, vendors, purchase management system. It's already available in Dynamics 365. Sales management system is already available in Dynamics 365. Okay, but When coming with the sales management system, the customer came up with some new requirements. Okay, the customer came up with some new requirements. What are those? Okay, first one, let's say they need customer identification. That means for each and every customer, he should upload few details. Okay, he should upload few details, and on the customer's page, we should show them. On the customer's page, we should show the image of the customer and the ID of the customer. Like this, they will come up with few details. Okay, and similarly, bulk sales orders posting, let's say, like this. Okay, they will come up with few requirements. So what we will do? We will identify these gaps. We will identify these gaps, and then the functional consultant will create the documents. Okay, these gaps are identified, and for these gaps, what we need to do? We need the design here. So here comes the design phase in the picture. In this design phase, gaps should be designed. Okay, here we will have the functional design and technical design. Okay, so here I don't want to go with the core dynamic sales stuff because already we have everything for shopping management system. Okay, because mainly those are the industries concentrated with ERP. Okay, so most of the things are available. So I would like to create something brand new. We will create few tables. Okay, to show the sales, to show the purchases, to show the customers. Okay, now see here. In this design phase, what should we identify? First thing, even if it is any shopping management, they will have customers. Is that right? So we need a table called customers table. Okay, and before creating the customer table, let's say we are working with now Amazon. Okay, let's say I will take the Amazon as the start. So now what we need to do? We need to identify the prefix. Already we have a lot of system objects. So what we need to do? We need to add the prefix so that we can identify our own model, objects in our own model. So for that, we will use the prefix as AMA. Okay, I'm using it for Amazon. AMA. This is the prefix. And then object name, that's up to you. Now see here, I told you we need customers. What is this? Customers. And when we are creating in dynamic sales, we need to create using AMA customers table. Okay, or you can call it as simply AMA customers. And what does the customers table contain? The customers table should contain the details of the customer. What are the details of the customer? Name. We can have name of the customer. We need to have mobile number of the customer. And remember, when you are working with a shopping management, most of the times they will not ask for the name. Okay, just we need to enter our name and then mobile number. And then what are other details do they need?
Place.
Okay. Address.
Address.
Next. What else do they need? They will have landmark. And then
credit points, like to know how frequently this customer is coming.
Didn't get you.
Cre-
Points to me.
Credit
Type
points,
of,
like
Okay, you want to store the how many times you purchased. Okay, good.
yeah.
We can have that. Next.
Type of customer, cash or credit.
Type of customer, actually you can pay by cash or you can pay by card in the account, so that's not needed. Okay, let's say now in the customer table, these are the details that we give. Similarly, we will have vendor. Okay, or you can call it as partner. Okay, I will call AMA partner, or you can also call, let me call vendor. Anyways, okay, AMA vendor. For this vendor again, we will have the same set of details. Okay, but here there are two ways of organizing these tables. Okay, there are two ways of organizing these tables. Now, instead of calling this as AMA customers or AMA vendors, I can call it as AMA custom vend, and then I can create one more type, and then I can say whether it is a customer or whether it is a vendor. I can have only one table. That is one way. The second way is you can create two tables. One table you can call it as a customer, and one table you can call it as a vendor. So what do you say? What do you think? We need to go with one table or two tables?
Oh, we should go with one table.
One table. What is the benefit of going with one table?
It will reduce the space and like space, and you don't need to create multiple table and maintain multiple table, I guess.
How it will
About
reduce
the customer is different and vendor is the different thing.
how it will save the space here? Because here as well you have the same data. When you insert data, one record in this table, it will have some space. If you insert one record in this table, it will have the same space.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay.
Okay.
No, but I think vendor is different thing and customer is different thing. Vendor we can take as a supplier from which they are purchasing.
Exactly. So whatever we need to do is, whenever you have this kind of requirement, there are few things that you need to think. From that, the primary point, the first thing is about the data. Okay. Whenever you are building some application, okay, you need to think about data. So what is the amount of the data that in the customers table can have? What is the amount of the data that the vendor table can have? If there is a less amount of data, even if you group them both, it's not a big deal. You can identify the data easily. Whereas if you're going to have huge amount of data for vendors and customers, obviously you need to create two tables. Okay, it will separate the details. Okay, because few times the people used to say, oh, I will use index. I will use index. But even depending on the data, even index will also take a lot of time. Instead of that, if you split it up, it will save the time and the queries will run faster. Okay, please remember that. And the next thing is, I have address here. So what does this address contain? The address will contain city, street, state, country, zip code, building name, building number. I think that should be enough. Okay, these are the fields. These are the minimum amount of fields that the address will contain. Now, how many of you say that we need to make a string and we need to store all this data? And how many of you say we need to split that address table?
We need to split it.
Why? If it is in one table, it would be easier. No? Why are you splitting it up again?
In one table, but as a different field, not in a single field.
Okay, in one table as a different field. Good. So you mean to say I need to make it city, I need to make it state, I need to make a country, and then zip code. Okay. Now I have one more question. For how many records these details can be seen? I have country, state, country, zip code. For how many records these details can be seen?
Maybe for many records, but it will help in future to
Then you are duplicating the
get
data.
some kind of reports.
Even if you are creating the report, we are duplicating the data here. Let's say in one zip code, there will be thousands of houses depending upon the area. Okay. So what we are doing is we are duplicating the data here. So whatever we need to do is we need to think about memory as well. Okay. Memory is one more concern because whenever you are storing this amount of data, if it is one record, you can say it will take maximum of 1 KB. But if it is 1 crore records, obviously, you need to pull the same data each and every time. Why to do that? Yes. What I will say is, I will remove these 4 fields from here. Okay. And I will create 2 new fields. Okay. I will call one field as building number, and the other field would be our building name. And along with this, I will create one more table. Okay. My table name is AMA address. So here what I will do is, I will add city, I will add country, I will add street, I will add zip code, district. That should be enough. Okay, if you have any fields, you can add. Okay. So now what will happen? What is the benefit? Here I am saving the data. Here I will have the rec ID, the N64. To get all these details, I am going to use a single field here. Whereas if I add all these fields here, there will be a lot of duplicates. Okay, this thing as well should be avoided. When you are working in a project, when we are working in a project, this is one more thing that we need to remember. Okay, so these are the discussions that will happen during the analysis and design phases. Analysis and design phases. And based on the outcome, the designs will be created, which are called functional and technical designs. Okay, based on the outcome of these discussions, the functional and technical designs will be created. Got it? And similarly, now we have customers, vendor. Good. Now the next point we need to think is about sales. Okay. Now here you can create a sales table. You can call it as AMA sales table. And what are the fields that are needed in this sales table? We need customer ID for customer identification. We should know now who is the customer. And what else do we need? We need sales ID, or you can also call it as order ID. That's up to you. Okay, order ID. Okay, and now there is a possibility that the customer might add multiple things into the cart. Okay, the customer might add multiple items to the cart. Okay, so now there will be one order ID, multiple items. So whatever we need to do is, along with this, we need to create one more table, and we can call it as AMA sales line. Even the dynamic AX is organized in the same order here. Okay, you can have the order ID, and what else can you have? If you want to add any other things, you can add it. Okay.
Quantity type.
Okay, you can add quantity, and then here you need to say total quantity.
Okay.
And similarly, if you want to add the total amount, you can add total amount here. But I think quantity means, again, let's say he is purchasing a one mobile to something else like that. Now, total quantity will not be useful.
Come on.
Because we don't know what is the type of item here. Okay, total amount, and then we have the sales line. Here we can say one is order ID, and I will say line ID to track the line item, and I will say here there are again multiple possibilities. What are those? If you want to get the data from the inventory, whatever we need to do is we need to use one more table. Okay, we need to have one more table which has the inventory. Okay, inventory, and in this inventory you can say item ID, and you can say quantity, and okay, here instead of calling quantity, I will say remaining quantity, total quantity, and remaining quantity. That should be enough. Okay, now here I will add invent ID, okay, which will give us the inventory details. And from this, what we can do, and here you can use quantity as well, and here, okay, Here we need to also add the status. What is the purpose of the status here? Because most of the times, you know what will happen? The customer will add items to the cart, but he will not purchase. For example, okay, if you take the example of a e-ticketing, I mean to say book my show. What will happen in book my show? You will select the tickets. You will select the tickets. The tickets should not be shown to the other customers because this customer is purchasing or this customer has added to the cart at the beginning. Okay, so whatever we need to do is we need to see whether it is on hold or whether it can be invoiced or whether it should be packed and shipped. Okay, to identify that we can use this status. Okay, we will add the enums later on to this status field. And similarly here I will have one more field called line amount because he has the quantity and the inventory. Based on that we need to add the line amount, and here as well you can add the unit price. Okay, or you can also call it as price per unit. Okay, so like this all these things will be done. All these things will be done. All this discussion will be done when we are working on the analysis and design phases. And then we are going to decide. Okay, the decision will be taken place, and the decision will be about the documents, the functional and the technical documents. So whatever we will do is we will start with the functional document. Directly we will not design the technical document. The design will begin with functional document. And once the functional document is finished, the technical documents will be created. Okay, the functional document will give us the details on what should be implemented. Okay, what should be implemented in the sense. Let me open Dynamics AX. Just give me a second. Now let's say there is accounts receivable. I have the customer details here, all customers. In these all customers, let's say they want to have one checkbox or they want to add additional fields. They will give us the details. We will have the screenshots. We will have the screenshots. And then on that screenshot, we can see what is the requirement and what should be added and where it should be changed. Okay, let's say what they will do is they will add this screenshot and then at the end they will mention, okay, here you can see I have added two fields. They will take this screenshot and they will mention you need to add minimum threshold and maximum threshold fields. Got it? In this fashion, the changes should be done. They will mention all these things in the functional design. If it is a new screen, they will give us a mock-up here. They will do that in the paint, okay, or Visio, and then they will give us the screenshot. And they will say, okay, this is how the screen should look like. Okay, this is how the screen should look like. And while doing the technical design, the technical person again will communicate with functional consultant and he will say, okay, here you are saying this design, but this design, because I will tell you what will happen. Here as well, there are few things that we need to remember. Okay, the customer will expect everything on a single screen. If we put everything on a single screen, again, the screen will get slowed down. Remember, whenever you are working with the forms, you need to stick to the existing template or the existing design patterns. If there is no possibility, okay, if there is no possibility of using existing pattern, then only you need to go for custom pattern. Okay, using custom pattern is not a best practice. We need to use custom pattern only when there is no other possibility. Okay, because you may ask, okay, if I need to give you the example, I will say in few scenarios you will have the requirement of charting. Okay, the customer will expect a graph Okay, the customer will expect a graph on the screen. Okay, because he would like to check the details. The customers, we have a lot of customers, and he is getting the invoices. So he want to compare his revenue in dynamic sales, and similarly he want to compare his inventory in dynamic sales. Okay, at that time he will say he wants to see the graph, because this is also one of the requirements that I got long back. Okay, so at that point now, you can create a SSRS report. Okay, but in AX 2012 you can also do the charting for that SSRS report. If possible, you need to provide the charting. Okay, you need to convince the customer and you need to provide the charting. Otherwise, if he wants to do some runtime update, at runtime he would like to update the information and he wants to see the data, then there is no other possibility. You need to create the chart and you need to use the custom template. Okay, this is one of my requirement, because each and every time we can't convince the customer and we can't say him, because it depends on the requirement to requirement. Okay, so at this end what we have done is we have created a chart, we have created a graph, and then we have provided the graph to the customer. This is how we need to decide. Okay, if it is not possible and the customer requirement is aggressive or mandatory, because the data is giving him lot of details, then we need to obviously implement that using the custom pattern. And let's say the customer requirement is to show this design. You can simply go and use some details from master here, or you can use a simple list. There is no need of using the custom pattern. Okay, because sometimes they will ask, okay, I want to add some 100 or 200 fields. Not needed. Okay, you should say him, okay, I will display this many fields. You can open one more screen, you will get the data. Okay, this is how we need to guide. This is how we need to take the decision. Okay, so these technical discussions will be done while working with this technical. Okay, remember, we need to speak with the people. Okay, and remember one more thing, when I am speaking or when I am saying something, there is no question called silly question, or there is no question called interesting question, there is no question called complex question. Question is always a question. Okay, even if you don't know something, please ask me, I will resolve your question and then I will go back. Please remember, you can stop me there. Once it is completed, then only I will move on. Okay, please remember. Next, this is about the design phase. Now we will come to the next phase, the very interesting phase, and with which we are going to work on, the development phase. Okay, so when we are working with the development phase, there is a pattern that we need to follow during development. Okay, because most of the times I found the developers directly taking the technical designs and starting the development. Okay, but it is not going to work like that. You should follow a model. Okay, what is that model? At the first step, the enumerated data type should be created. What is enumerated data type? If we need to store set of constants, okay, if we need to store set of constants, for example, days in a week, months in a year. Okay, here days in a week. How many days? How many are there? 7. Okay, from Sunday to Saturday. Okay, so is there any need of using strings here? No, there is no need of using strings here. We can use the enumerated data type, okay, to save the memory. And dot dot dot, so on. Similarly, months in a year. How many are there? There are 12. So do we need to use string for this? No. Not needed. We can store it in an enumerated data type. The enumerated data type is used to store set of constants. Okay? The enumerated data type is used to store set of constants. And as a first step, we need to create base enums. The second step would be to create extended data type. The second step is to create extended data type. Okay, so I will do one thing. I will explain you what is extended data type today, and I want you to download the machines tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Okay, by Sunday you should download the machines, because from Monday we will go into the development. Okay, from Monday we will go into the development, so please download the machines as soon as possible. Okay, second step would be extended data types. So what is the extended data type? Extended data type is again a primitive data type. Okay, extended data type is again a user-defined data type. Extended data type is a user-defined data type which is derived from a primitive data type. So what is the benefit of this extended data type? I will show you an example, but before that, I would like to explain. Okay. Now, let's say there are three tables. Table A, and it contains a field called name. And let's say we have father name. So these are the two fields. And similarly, we have one more table called table B. And this table B as well have the similar kind of field. Let's say name. And let's say we have one more table called table C. Here we have one more field called mother name or something. Okay, we have the name. Now, let's say the size of the field name here is 20 characters. The size of the field name is 20 characters. Again here it is 20 characters. Here it is 20 characters. Now the requirement is we got a name where the size is 25 characters. Now how many places do we need to change? How many places do we need to change? Obviously, we need to change 1, 2, 3, 4, all the 4 places. Okay. Now you might say, oh, it is 4 places, so we can change it easily. You can make it 25, 25, 25. But unfortunately, my developer has got some urgent production issue. He changed it 3 places and he checked in the code. He forgot to change in 4th place. And the code is moved to do production environment. What will happen? What will happen? It is gone. In this case, it's 20 characters. My customer name is 25 characters. It got truncated and there is a name mismatch. There is a name mismatch. This is the problem. To avoid this kind of issues, what we need to do? We need to come up with a data type. We need to come up with a data type which we should change at one place. And the data should be updated in all the other places. We will use a data type called extended data type. So now what we will do is name. Okay, we will create an extended data type, and then we will we will create an extended data type called, let's say, AMA name, and we will set the number of characters to 25. Now what we have done, this EDT will be applied to each and every field. Remember, whenever we are working, the second step should be to create the EDTs if they are not available. Okay, if you are not using the standard extended data types, then whatever we need to do is you need to create the EDTs. The second step we will need to create extended data type. Now what will happen? Let's say tomorrow morning we need to change it to 30 characters. If we change the extended data type, the field size will be changed across all the fields on one go. Okay, the field size will be changed at all the places on one go. Okay, the second step would be to work with extended data types. Remember this. Okay, whenever we are creating a field in Dynamics AX, we need to use extended data type. There should be no field without EDT. As per the best practice, we need to create a extended data type, and then we need to use it for each and every field in dynamic phase. Please remember this. This is one more point. And then now we are done with the extended data type. What is the next step? Data model. Okay. The next step would be data model. Okay. That means we need to create tables, queries, views. Okay, you might ask me, oh, you're saying in a sequence. If we do in a sequence, it is going to consume a lot of time. But it's not going to consume a lot of time, yeah. Because whatever we need to do is, if there are 1,000 entities to be created, or let's say if there are 200 entities to be created, we need to divide it across the developers. The work will be done within 1 day. Okay. We should never focus on the coding directly. This is the basement. Okay. You need to create the pillars. If you want to construct without pillars, it will fail. How it will fail? Now, let's say I did not follow this process and I have given the technical document to the developers. Now, developer A has started building the code. He created his own entities and he is writing the code. His code is not finished, so he has not checked in code to the version control. Now, what developer 2 will do? He needs a similar set of entities. The developer 2 will create the entities again back from his end. Because the extended data types will be used across the AOT. So obviously the developer 2 or developer N, whoever needs that entity, now he will create by his own again back to back. And when they do a check-in, there will be a lot of conflicts. Got it? There will be a lot of conflicts. So this is why we need to follow this approach. Okay? After this data model, if it is a form or if it is a class, then there should be mutual discussion again. Okay. After this, they can create it as per the functionality. Okay, that as well I will explain you how to work with the functionality once we are done with the data model. But here, this is the preliminary step. Okay, these 3 should be done at the beginning. But you know, 90% of the cases this will not happen. Okay, because in most of the projects, we will see the same set of entities multiple times. Okay, because the problem is we are on an individual topology. Okay, each developer will have its own machine. Each developer will have its own machine. So TFS is not connected directly. Every day, the first step, okay, when you are developing a company, every day, the first step should be to take latest from the TFS. But you know, this as well, most of the guys will not do. If you don't get the latest version, you don't know what are the new entities created, what are the new classes created, what are the new objects created. That is also his failure. Okay, so please remember, you need to get the latest and then we need to start development. And while developing, we should follow this process. If you follow this process, the project will take less time. Okay, we need to divide this and then we need to roll. Whatever we are working now, we need to divide and then we need to roll. EDTs, base enums, data model, done. If these 3 are done perfectly, remaining code, it's very easy to write. If these 3 are not done perfectly, remaining code will be hell, obviously. Okay, remember. Understood? Yeah, this is what we are going to do. And there will be no session for tomorrow and day after tomorrow. For this weekend, we are not going to take session on Saturday. From next weekend, we will take session on Saturday and Sunday as well. Yeah, now it's your time. Please let me know if you have any questions. And I want you to download the VM, okay? Which is why I did not start with the project today. From Monday, we will start with the project. We will start with the development. Now I hope you understood how to work with the project. Okay, so once the development phase is done, I will show you how to deploy as well. Don't worry. There is one session on deployment only, how to do the deployment from LCS and how to do the deployment from here. For LCS, I will show you some screenshots possibly. And for this one, I will show you how to do on the environment. Yeah. Yeah, any queries?
So tomorrow we don't have the session.
Yeah, tomorrow we don't have the session.
We need to just change this one to the coding part. After that,
Your voice is breaking. I'm getting other sounds.
hello.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah, I'm saying just I need to understand this one because there is tables and with data types also. So I need to learn first. After that, I will make the point. I need to ask.
Oh, okay, all right. You can ask me question at any point of time, and I think they will create a WhatsApp group for us if you provide your numbers. And if you want to ping me, you can ping me at this number. I will reply. And this is country code +919912367111. You can ping me. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Whenever I check the messages, I will reply. Okay. Yeah. Next. Any other query?
One more thing. I was a non-technical background.
Rakesh, you're very low.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I was a non-technical background. In this class, you have so many times you have mentioned string. You don't need to use string here. What is that string and all, Kumar?
I will tell you. Okay. I will tell you. Don't worry. String means array of characters. I will tell you in detail. We will see that in detail in the next sessions.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other queries? Okay. Thanks all for. Sorry.
Are we going to take the session of Power Apps connection with D365?
Hey, Power Apps again. That is not part of the sessions here because I can just explain you how to work with that, but I can't show you the integration because that needs the subscription. I don't have the subscription.
Okay.
Yep.
So after this course, we can work as a technical consultant or a developer.
You can work as a technical consultant. You will learn each and everything.
No, not as a developer.
You can work as a developer as well, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Because if you go outside, a technical consultant will do the development. Okay, we will not call him as a developer. We will call him as a technical consultant.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Thanks all for the session. Let's meet again on Monday, same time. Thank you all. Bye.